Yo there! Welcome back to X Tier. I'm Anik, and today we're gonna be checking out some automotive or car hot takes on TikTok. So, let's watch it.
Here are some automotive hot takes that might get me assassinated. First up, American car culture is the best car culture. Not only do we have things like lowriders, classic cars, vintage cars, but it's also this really big hub for basically every other kind of subculture of cars. You got your JDM cars, you got your European cars, your supercars, your shitboxes, your whatever. If you think of it, Bosozoku. I have seen Bosozoku in America. That's fucking crazy. If you think of something, it'll probably be here. Next up, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to all the JDM fanboys. The supercharger whine is better than the fucking turbo noises. See, if you had the IQ like me, I have an IQ of over 1,000. This is perfect. Because you basically just slap it in the car and you get a noise. And with turbos, you're either going to get that where it sounds like a fucking train is coming to a stop, because let me tell you, anybody who runs these, their cars are absolute boats. Or the sound that sounds like me in the morning when I'm farting. That's all it sounds like. And lastly, if you drive a Volkswagen, just buy Toyota. Get rid of the Volkswagen and buy Toyota. They're way better.
Okay, so when he said these hot takes are gonna get him assassinated, I think he means that it's triggering some parts of me that I really don't like. Okay, so first of all, he said America has the best car culture, which I guess is kind of fair, because since you know how America is pretty much the biggest country besides Russia, and of course they're gonna have a lot of cultures in over America. You guys have 40 states, 40 freaking states. That's a lot. So it makes sense why there's so many cultures over there. But at the same time, call it the best? Nah, I wouldn't say. I say it's diverse. Yeah, it's diverse. But you know, the cultures usually thrive best where they're originated from. Okay, for let's say he said there's Bosozoku in America. Sure, there's Bosozoku in America, but the culture of Bosozoku really shines best back in Japan, where you know they can the portrayal of the culture is better when it's from who it originated with, you know, Japanese people. So they understand the Bosozoku culture even better. So I wouldn't say the best, but I say America has the most diverse car culture. Okay, the second one. Where is it? Here. Okay. The supercharger one. I won't fight over a supercharger one. It sounds good. Okay. I love myself a Hellcat sound. Okay. The wee, oh, that sounds good. But there's something about a turbocharger that hits different, you know? Okay. Superchargers get really annoying at a certain point where you just you know want the whining to stop. You don't like kids whining, so at a certain point this kind of applies to superchargers too. You just hear this whining in your ears. It doesn't stop unless you tell it, unless you get rid of the supercharger. So yeah, it sounds good, but after too much, you know, repeatedly hearing it, nah. But I would say, since this is very subjective subject for the sounds, I say turbocharger sounds better. Yep. And as for the he mentioned that cars that use turbochargers are absolute boats. Tell that to the Ferrari 488. Okie dokie. And for the Volkswagen, better buy a Toyota. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But Volkswagen is basically just the European Toyota, so I don't blame them. It's mass produced over there in Europe. So yeah, let them have their own thing. They have their own version of Toyota. Just like how Americans have their own version of Toyota. Pretty much Ford. Most Fords are the US version of Toyotas. That's hot take.
Automotive hot take, I think Matt Black is just really fucking stupid. Now here's my question. Who would actually go out of their way to wrap a car or even paint a car that looks like it was spray painted by the hand of fucking God himself and they just never clear coated? I seen one of these fuckers yesterday. Some guy with a matte black Mercedes-Benz, all matte black. I wanted to key his car. On the Porsche? On the Porsche? Why? Like, I don't understand the appeal. If you're gonna do illegal things late at night, I mean, I guess this would make it a, like, practical application, but, like, who would do this? Okay, thanks for listening, bye.
Okay.
Here's some automotive hot takes that might get me assassinated.
I actually agree with that.
Automotive hot take.
Okay. I am a fan of matte colors, if you don't know yet. So I like matte because it doesn't really shine that much. I personally don't like the shiny look or metallic look too much on a car because that's my personal opinion, my personal taste. But I can see why people also hate matte because it looks so out of character for a car to not be glossy or not be metallic, since it's a metal box. But I don't know how to respond to this one. It's a hot take, and not a hot take that I can really counter with. Just a really subjective topic. Moving on. What you got me, big man?
Here's some automotive hot takes that might get me in trouble. First up, ovaries. What the fuck am I saying? Rotaries are overrated. There are two kinds of people in this world who love rotaries. One, the people who can afford to maintain it. And the second, the people who love rotaries, but go into debt just trying to hear that brap, 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 brap. Let me save you some time. If you want anything other than an FD RX-7, just buy a shell and put a 4-cylinder in it, okay? If you want to go into debt hearing a noise, I'm sorry, but I think you need some therapy and some counseling. I think this is something people are going to like and not like at the same exact time. I think any type of media has cooked every single JDM car image. Initial D is kind of a bad example because, I mean, it was just a cartoon. But movies like Fast and the Furious just set unrealistic standards for, how cars actually perform. And after these movies got popular, all the cars that were in those movies just shot up in value.
Okay,
not saying that any of them are actually like good performance cars, I'm just saying it's unrealistic how they do it. I know it's supposed to be in like a cartoony fashion, but I mean, they're real people. That's kind of my takeaway. Last one, Need for Speed Payback was a good game, okay?
Okay, so the first one being the where is it? The rotaries. Yeah, I can see why that's a really, really good hot take. Well, because rotaries are really, really well known to be unreliable. Okay, they break down a lot, so you gotta maintain. It's such a baby, You gotta maintain it properly, and it's not the best fuel efficient car. It downs fuel like it's chugging wine or alcohol. I don't know. I don't drink alcohol. So yeah, if you can't afford maintaining a rotary, if you're just buying a rotary car like a Mazda just for the sound, don't. If you can't afford it, don't. Just buy a 4-cylinder or something. Just if all you want is a sound, just don't.
Rotaries are over, but go into debt just trying to hear that brap, 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 brap.
Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so the JDM cars and cars in general are shooting up in value. because of these animes or movies. Well, that's what happened with the GTR, the Supra. They all shot up in value when the Fast Furious series dropped, and the 86 also shot up in value when the initial D anime, call it the anime tax. Okay, so it's such a because it defeats the point of the car itself. Japanese cars, especially Japanese JDM cars, are meant to be performance cars at an affordable price. That's what they're meant to be. So when they kind of go up in value, it kind of defeats the point. Unless there's a proper reason to why the prices go up. If it's just because of a movie, no, it doesn't really make sense. The movie does stunts, the car goes flying and stuff, the car somehow, let's per se, an 86 beats a Ferrari by any chance. It's unrealistic. But let's per se, if there are reasons to why a car is so special, like as per se history-wise or the journey to how that car is made, then I understand. Let's per se an example, the Lexus LFA. Some people say, well, it's just a Toyota, it's just a Lexus. Why is it so expensive? Well, if you study the history of how the Lexus LFA was made, you understand the sentimental value of the car itself. Not because of some movies, just because it did some jumps, some drifts. No, the sentimental value and the research, the work that went into the LFA justifies its price as of now. I can give certain some other comparisons or examples, but it's just gonna be too long. So let's
Same exact time.
that's one
Fashion,
is
but
the
okay.
okay, Need for Speed Payback. Need for Speed Payback, I'm not really a fan, especially for the sense of speed in that game. I played it, and I don't really like the progression of how you upgrade your cars. I prefer Heat's the Need for Speed Heat progression better, even though I can say somewhat Heat has a better storyline, but it's just so left on a cliffhanger. I wish they would have continued that story. And for the Need for Speed, for all of Need for Speed, I guess the best Need for Speed in terms of car and the driving, the feel is Hot Pursuit. That's peak. Moving on.
This is Rice. Supercharged Mustang on 19 pounds of boost, making roughly 960 wheel horsepower, over 700 wheel horsepower Camaro, and a 400 wheel horsepower supercharged Audi S4 aren't Rice. People incorrectly throw this word around on a daily basis to describe my cars, so let's go ahead and explain the exact acronym of what Rice means.
Okay, so Rice is basically cars that are inspired. I guess she's gonna explain it, but I'm just gonna explain it in the simple terms. Racers are just cosmetic fanatics. Okay, they are just adding cosmetics to a car to make them look fast when it's actually a shit box. So yeah, that's right. So if you add a supercharger, if you somehow made a car that's 100 horsepower, turn it to a 600 horsepower monster, that's not a Rice. Okay, that's actual good performance. Moving on.
Oh, yes, If you have an obnoxiously loud car when you turn them on, a small part of me already hates you. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, but if your car has the ability to yank me from the deepest depths of REM sleep every single fucking time you turn it on, it maybe doesn't have to be that loud. If your car vibrates my house harder than my vibrator vibrates my clit, maybe it doesn't need to be that fucking loud. Your car sounds like Godzilla is charging up down the fucking street.
To be fair, Godzilla is charging up a fucking street is awesome. It sounds awesome.
Maybe it doesn't need to be that loud. If you
Okay, I can see where she's coming from. Well, loud cars can be annoying. It's sound pollution basically. That's why I can say hybrid cars are one of the best cars that you want to have, since if you don't want such loud startups, you know. But I guess it's personal preferences, especially if it's a enjoyment for the owner, but a nuisance for people around them who aren't really in cars, especially women. Women don't like these kind of stuff that much. It's more of men. If men saw loud cars starting up, brain goes working. It sets IQ goes up when we hear loud cars. Moving on.
What mod do you dislike seeing on cars?
I ain't seen cold air intakes. They think it does a lot. It doesn't do that much. Your stock intake's fine. You don't need a cold air intake.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, for a complete intake upgrade, it probably just gives you around 5 to 10 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not really a lot. So it's not really a lot. So I guess your stock intake is really fine. But unless you're upgrading the whole car, then yeah, you gotta install a new air intake.
What mod do you dislike seeing on cars?
Fake hood vents, fake accessories.
Fake hood vents.
The eyelashes on the
valid.
cars. Those are pretty weird. Straight
Yeah,
pipe.
valid.
I don't recommend any louvers because it just blocks your...
Oh, straight pipes. Straight pipes. I'm guilty. I'm guilty for liking straight pipes. But yeah, they're obnoxiously loud. I like those kind of stuff. But it depends on the car. Some cars, especially straight pipes can be annoying on inline four cars, such as a Civic and stuff. So it sounds. You gotta tune it right to make it sound actually good. Not because it's just loud, it's just to be stupidly loudly good sounding. So that's kind of the straight pipes I like, not just the straight pipe just for the loudness of it.
protection and it doesn't look the best.
What mod?
What do you say?
And it doesn't look the best.
What mod?
Hang on, bro. Hang on.
I don't recommend any louvers because it just blocks your protection and it doesn't look the best.
I guess louvers. Depends on the type of louvers. I've seen louvers that are actually huge, so you can really still see a good view, a good chunk of the rear view. Unless you drive a car that really doesn't matter if the rear view is kind of small, so you just use the side mirrors, and yeah, you can wear those, I guess. I mean, if that's your taste.
Alright, call me crazy here, I don't care. I'm not fucking with these new AMGs, bro. Straight up, I'm not liking this. To me, they failed on the SL63, so they kind of just tweaked it a little bit and said, oh, here's a new AMG GT. Like, I don't like this. You know what I thought when I saw this side profile right here? I'll show you. It literally looks like a Mustang on the right side and a fucking Porsche on the tail end. It does. Look at it. Look at that. Okay. You know what I thought?
The side profile, especially the hood of the new AMG GT is a lot more bloated than the previous generation, which kind of looks weird on a car with this kind of proportion.
When I saw this side profile right here, I'll show you. It literally looks like a Mustang on the right side and a fucking Porsche on the tail end. It does. Look at it. Look at that. And then look at that. It's the same thing. And then on top of all that, they want to give you this as your interior. Like, yes, it looks nice for a fucking luxury car. It's got an iPad in the middle of the fucking car, man. This is supposed to be a supercar. It's just lost its touch. AMG, I don't know what you guys are doing. It's become...
Okay, this, in terms of this is kind of, I guess, subjective, because you're paying a really, really hefty price. So at that amount of price, I guess some customers are expecting a certain level of, let's per se, luxury. So yeah, that goes per se with also other supercar brand makers such as McLaren or even Lamborghinis. some people don't mind, but when people say Mercedes, people will think of luxury and stuff. So it makes sense why they want to add luxury elements into their cars. But as per se, if Lamborghini doesn't have these touchscreens, people don't really mind, because when people say Lamborghini, people think of V12, screaming V12, go fast. So yeah, that's my one hot take on this matter.
I'm super robotic, and that's not it. And I own an AMG GTS right now, and I could say I would happily take this over that new one.
The AMG GTS.
100% every day.
I want that V.
The interior too, man. Look how nice this is. Everything is where it's supposed to be. You got your buttons, your volume controls. It's not all on a fucking screen and touch and all this stuff. It's nice, man. I wish just make AMGs great again, man. All right, call me crazy.
Today, I have a car hot take for y'all, and it's that I think that Bugatti makes better cars than Koenigsegg. And also that TikTok kids have overhyped Koenigsegg to levels that shouldn't even be known about. Every time I see a video of like a Bugatti going fast, or any car going fast, all the comments, or a lot of the comments that I see, are the ones that say, oh, yes, go absolute, 300 plus miles per hour, 3 skull face emojis. And it annoys me so much because the fastest Koenigsegg that's ever been tested is the Agera RS, which hit 278 miles an hour, while the Chiron 300 Plus hit 304 miles an hour. Now that being said, it was only done in one direction, so it didn't count as an official world record. And the official world record, both directions, fastest car in the world at this time is the SSC Tuatara. So even though Bugatti does have the fastest car at this time, people will still say Koenigsegg is the fastest, even though no tests, only theories have ever been drawn. But on to why I think Bugatti is better than Koenigsegg. Bugatti has a racing history that's so prolific. It's been going on they've been doing it for over 100 years. And Koenigsegg was only founded in 1994. Now, given in the last 28 years, they've made some amazing cars. It really doesn't even compare to what Bugatti has done in its racing history and just in innovation in general. In 2005, when Bugatti made the Veyron, it completely shocked the world. 8-liter quad turbocharged W16 making 1,001 horsepower. It had never even been heard of. And on top of that, it can all be done on regular pump gas. On top of that, set a world speed record that stayed for so many years, all while having an extremely luxury interior and being a big heavy fucking tank. And Koenigsegg has a much different approach to world speed records than Bugatti does. Koenigsegg takes a much more race car approach. Okay, we can remove weight here, we can adjust the aero here, and do this, this, and this. And listen, all power to them. They've done some incredible things. They made some amazing cars and set amazing records. And side note before I forget, no, Koenigsegg was not banned from the Nürburgring for being too fast. They were banned for crashing too much. What Bugatti does is they make a luxury coupe, 2-door coupe, and they just shove the biggest engine they can find, and they always win. They always set the record. They always do what they set out to do. And that's why I love Bugatti so much, because they made a car that will break every record you can think of, all while being a luxury car you could honestly daily drive. Koenigsegg, well, I think they're really cool, and the interiors are really cool. They're not doing the same thing as Bugatti is, or at least on the same level.
Okay. I can see where this guy is coming from, and I kind of, at some degree, actually agree with him. Okay, so Bugatti's cars are undeniably fast. They're luxurious, and don't get me started with the interior, especially for the new Tourbillon. I probably butchered that wrong, but the new interior for the new Tourbillon is it's such. It's a work of art, especially that gauge cluster, that clock looking meter. Oh, it's such a beautiful touch. As for like he said, Koenigsegg takes things for their cars in a race car manner of approach. Shove weight here and there. So so even though Bugatti makes things out of this world things, how they're making cars that weigh about 2 tons but can still go about 300 miles an hour, that's about 500 kilometers an hour if you're from Asia. I mean, if you're not American, 500 kilometers an hour. That's really, really blistering fast. So Bugatti, what makes Bugatti special is one of the aspects that makes a Bugatti special is the design of it. It doesn't really look like a supercar. Let me rephrase myself. It doesn't really look that much like any other supercar. You know how a lot of supercars are dictated by aerodynamics, arrow here, arrow there. The car's body has to match with the wind, but Bugatti takes things differently. So they're pretty much breaking physics. So I can see the passion to Bugatti lovers and why they like Bugatti. And at the end of the day, I think if Ettore Bugatti, if you know Ettore Bugatti, he's pretty much the maker of Bugatti, met Christian von Koenigsegg, I think they'd be good friends. So that's just all the car hot takes for today. So yeah, there's some really good takes I can see, and I'm not 100% let's say certified to give my thoughts, but I can voice out my opinion. So yeah, thank you for watching. Also, I'm releasing my S tier cap next in the nearest time. So yeah, you guys can get this S tier cap so for yourself. It's really cool. So yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.